Hey guys, it's your girl Becca and this is We Need to Talk with Becca. Welcome back to my returners, and welcome to newcomers. Today's topic, I'm not gonna lie, is a bit sensitive. But I figured, you know what, it's necessary. Sex is one of those topics that a lot of people are deprived of. A lot of people aren't taught about it unless they're in health class or something, but their parents or guardians, whatever, don't really take the time to really explain it in detail. Not just sex itself, but its effects and things that surround it. In this video specifically, I'm going to talk about that whole concept of sex kind of being a chain or bondage for a girl, specifically one that's had sex for the first time with a guy who doesn't value her, or with a guy who left her or played her or hurt her. Disclaimer, in this video I will reference to the Bible a lot. Majority of this video will be about Bible references. If you are a viewer who prefers not to associate with a specific religion, or you're not a Christian and things of the Bible bring a sort of discomfort, please feel free to click out of this video, click on another video, watch whatever you want, but if you don't mind, you can stay on. Basically, feel free. Stay tuned. Now, to understand the significance of sex, we have to go all the way back to Genesis, when Adam and Eve was made. My fellow Christians, you already know, or you should know the story. In the beginning, God made daytime and nighttime, separated the sky and the seas, made land animals, swimming animals, flying animals, all kinds of plant life. Then he made a human representative of himself to have dominion over everything he made, Adam. Now, when he made Adam, he saw that it wasn't good for man to be alone. So he made a helper comparable to Adam, Eve. Now, when God made Eve, that famous scripture that I'm sure everyone has heard it at least 1,000 weddings, appeared. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Now, the thing about the Bible is that it's very detailed and very specific. But it is only as detailed and specific as the person reading it wants it to be. When I read the Bible, I want to see things that you can't see just by reading it. So I take a small portion and read it 1,000,000 times. With this scripture specifically, the one I just read, after reading it 1,000,000 times, I realized that it is actually made of steps through which a boy goes from a boy to a husband. Now let's chop it up. This is gonna be Bible study, guys. Get ready. First step is that he leaves his parents. Now, this can be understood in a very literal way. It could be taken as he literally leaves his parents' house and moves in alone. He's kicked out of the nest. And then it can also be understood in a figurative whatever way. This can be, the transformation from a boy, a male child, who solely depended on the aid of parents, legal guardians, caretakers, an adult, to a full-grown man who is also capable, because A man and a husband are not the same thing. A full-grown man who is capable of being the head of his own household. Capable as in, he knows how to put food on the table. He knows where he wants to be in life. He knows what he wants his future to look like in the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years. He can take care of himself. Whew, Jesus. The second step is he joins his wife. This means courtship, engagement, marriage. Now, I use the word courtship instead of dating because dating has the worldly connotation of a relationship that starts with a girlfriend and boyfriend bond and ends with a girlfriend and boyfriend bond. Marriage is not always the main goal. In some boyfriend and girlfriend relationships, marriage isn't even a relevant option. This is why you'll see a couple who've been together for a long time, or some, 10 or 12, 15 years. They even have, a kid or a couple kids together. And then after an insanely amount of years, they decide, you know what, we're better as friends. Because they were living in the moment. With courtship, a couple develop a romantic relationship with marriage as the end goal, as the bigger picture. They are together for the reason of marriage, not because of companionship, not because they look good together, not because being single is lonely. When a man courts a woman, he's seeking God's counsel as well as godly counsel. A man who courts a woman is planning to make her his wife. A man who's a man who's dating his girlfriend is going with the flow, seeing where things go. A lot of men have been seeing where things go for a whole decade now. Now the third step is where I want to focus. The third step is they shall become one flesh. Now, a lot of you probably were confused at the second step, because if the second step is marriage, then what's the third step? When I was thinking about it, I looked at the, physical meaning. To be officially married, To be officially married, you have to sign documents. You have to sign legal marriage papers. You need the person who officiated it and at least one or two witnesses. When you sign that marriage document, those legal marriage papers, you become one person legally. But looking, around in Genesis, it didn't say anything about Adam and Eve signing any papers or having a ceremony. So I decided to look through the Bible, or look up if that scripture was referenced anywhere else in the Bible. And lo and behold, the Bible always does this. It is referenced in 1 Corinthians 6:16. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 6:16. Or do you not know that he who is joined to a harlot is one body with her? For the two, he says, shall become one flesh. Now, for those who don't know what a harlot is a prostitute. Again, back to me saying the Bible is very detailed. I believe they used harlot or prostitute because a prostitute is known for exchanging sex for money. Side note for all my fellow Christians who don't believe in the relevance of the Old Testament, because the crucifixion and resurrection of Christ made all things new and everything of the past old. If you're not sure of anything else, be sure of this, because it is referenced in the New Testament. Now, back to what I was saying. My first thought upon realizing that the third step is sex was, what in the world is so important about sex that it is its own step in the process through which a boy goes from a boy to husband. And then I realized, although Adam and Eve did not sign, physical legal marriage documents, they did sign documents, but it was spiritual. And the signature was sex. The formal term is consummation, meaning the action of making a marriage or relationship complete by having sexual intercourse. The informal term, and probably the term that most people recognize, is the honeymoon. Yes, that's why it's right after the wedding ceremony, or right after getting married. Okay. I said all of that to say this. When two people have sex, they become spiritually one. To be more specific, when a female has sex with a man, you are doing more than giving up your virginity or giving up your body. Physically, sex is an exchange of bodily fluids, to say the least. Spiritually, sex is an exchange of vows. Physically, sex is sex. Spiritually, sex is marriage. You exchange a piece of you for a piece of him. This is why they say sex is for marriage. To say the least, it just makes things more simple. Now, with that whole thing being explained, here comes the ultimate answer to the title of this video. Back to Adam and Eve. Everyone knows the story. The serpent convinced Eve to eat the fruit, and she convinced Adam to eat the fruit, which is the exact thing that God literally told Adam not to do. Because of this, God punished all three people, even though a serpent isn't a person. The punishment that Eve got, amongst having pain in childbirth, is your desire shall be for your husband, which we've already defined as having both a physical and spiritual significance. And he shall rule over you. To some of you it might sound harsh, but it's only because Adam, the man, the husband, obeyed Eve without taking God's law into consideration. So God decided, you know what, you females, y'all too manipulative. When you have sex with a man in some way, shape, or form, spiritually, which always manifests somehow, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, or physically, he is your husband. And it said right there that our desire shall be for our husbands, and he shall rule over us. Now it sounds scary, and it actually sounds a bit dramatic, but it's the truth. Again, I said there's a million other reasons why you should wait to have sex, but that reason alone, Lord have mercy, should give you enough strength to be like, you know what, I mean, whatever, you want to leave me, it's not that serious. For those of you who are still virgins, obviously this part isn't for you. First category is you cling on to regret, and that regret turns into trust issues because now you think all men are the same, and you regret giving such a low life, such an exotic, foolish man something so special to you. What I'm gonna say is please forgive yourself. This man is living his life, whoever he is. Don't do that to yourself. There's absolutely nothing more he can take from you unless you let him. Don't take that opportunity of meeting that man that God made for you away from yourself. Don't let another man pay for some stupid guy's mistakes. Second category is, the more drastic one. I see this sometimes, but not as much as the first one. The one, or the type of female who will do anything to avoid feeling that pain or feeling that regret, feeling that embarrassment or ashamed feeling that comes from missing a man that you don't want to miss, missing a man that hurt you, missing a man that played you or made you feel dumb. This female will kind of do whatever it takes for her to feel empowered, for her to kind of take her power back that she thinks the man took away from her. So you'll see this female kind of going around on sexcapades, or, you know, having sex with multiple men and not caring. What will happen with this female is that she will grow psychologically meaning mentally and emotionally. She will grow psychologically numb. Her ability to feel or love again will be non-existent. This female will also forfeit her opportunity to meet and fall in love and marry the man that God put on this earth for her. Both categories end the same way. The devil wins. The only way to counter this bad is associate with good. And what is more good than God? It doesn't matter what you find joy in, that void that only God can fill will always be there unless you let God fill it. It's a feeling, once again, that you won't really understand unless you experience it for yourself. But what are you waiting for? Don't let it, oh my God, I can't believe I'm not a virgin anymore. God, I'm so stupid. Let it go, 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 let it go. Because in the grand scheme of things, the only thing that is hurting you is your inability to forgive yourself. And that is the one thing, or that is one of the few things that keep God's forgiveness from us. Forgive yourself, forgive yourself, forgive yourself, forgive yourself. He was dumb and stupid. Cut him out your life and move on. When you build your relationship with God, you build your love for God, you will realize He didn't take anything away from me. Okay, great, you're not a virgin anymore. You can't get into the college of your dreams anymore. You can't be who you want to be in the future anymore. You can't be that millionaire. You can't own that business. You can't go to church anymore. You can't be that person that you want to be anymore. Yeah, those are all untrue. You can do whatever you want. It literally takes nothing from you. Now, for those who are still virgin, please keep yourself. Keep yourself. Keep yourself. For those who aren't virgins anymore, don't let it eat you up. Don't let it eat you up. It's not, like, it's really not that, it's not that serious. The devil wants you to think it's that serious now that it's over. Because when you were a virgin, you didn't think it was serious, but now that you aren't a virgin, you're like, oh my God, I just ruined my life. Don't let the devil win. Don't let him have even more power than he thinks he does. It's not that serious. Forgive yourself. Everything's a learning opportunity. Just cling to God. Let him fill that void. Let him fill that empty space that man was filling in the meantime. Thank you guys once again for watching my video. I hope you like this. If you'd like to do more, videos, or hear or watch more videos like this, Bible study kind of videos, please hit me up. I hope, at least a lot of you have learned something. If you'd like to, talk to me about anything, hit me up about anything, please click on my YouTube name, We Need to Talk with Becca. It'll take you to my actual channel on my YouTube banner art. Bottom right corner, all my social media, Snapchat, Facebook Messenger, Twitter, what else is there? Instagram. Hit me up. Thank you once again for watching my video. Please continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.